Okay. Dice TV 87 since 1987. How you doing? All right. Listen, I'm bringing you my concept reviews of Love and HipHop Hollywood. One of my favorite shows on TV. Now, I'll admit, they haven't gotten all the way into rhythm yet, and it still is a bit dry in comparison to Love and HipHop Atlanta, you know. So it is a little bit left to be desired, but I do feel as though it's still entertaining, still enjoying it. So anyway, my episode today. So we're gonna get into Hazel versus Young Berg Part 2. Now, if you watch this show, you know that there's a constant struggle between Hazel and Young Berg. Hazel has been messing with Young Berg for the last 10 years or so, and Young Berg is just living life. He's just being a light-skinned misfit. Starting to think that Young Berg might actually really be like 20 years old. And he was 10 years old when he came out. But anyway, don't matter. So if you're over 22 years old, you're way too old to be losing to Young Berg. If you can read and write and you have full use of your sight, you're too old to be losing to Young Berg. And Hazel she lost that first round very easily at the studio. Berg's career got so bad that Berg stopped rapping. Do you guys forget the fact that Berg used to be a rapper? Like an actual rapper? He don't even rap no more. That's how bad his reputation got. So you can't be losing to Young Berg. Don't disrespect, but you can't be losing to Young Berg. Because that nigga was gone so long, I thought he went back to school. So in episode 4, we have Hazel and Young Berg enjoying a really nice booty call. So we opened up on them making their way back up to the apartment. In the previous episode, Hazel moved out of her apartment with Tierra Marie. And it just seemed like very healthy and very therapeutic. She was wearing all black for symbolism. And in our next scene, we see them upstairs, passing back and forth a bottle of Ciroc. And I'm like, damn, this looks really, really unromantic. So Hazel is going on and on about her feud and problems with Tierra Marie. And honestly, Young Berg looks like he can care less. All his answers were very uninvolved. Honestly, if we probably looked inside Young Berg's head, you probably would have saw an image of Obama working out, or somebody making a burrito, or unicorns and Ashley Larry. Eventually, they have sex in a really awkward way. I mean, it's kind of weird. But the next morning, we open up on Hazel alone in her bed and Young Berg laying on the couch. I'm like, yo, that is the most unintimate scene I've ever seen in my life. That shit looks so awkward. I'm like, yo, who the fuck don't sleep in the same bed as the person they just had sex with and still stay at their house? You know what I mean? And so, Hazel starts getting frustrated again, and she goes for the hold me down conversation. And he's made it painfully clear that he don't really fuck with you. He even explained his man whore schedule. He said, I got one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, on Saturday I double up, and he said on Sunday I rest like Jesus Christ. And he even wore all white. He's been wearing all white a lot, and I don't know how I feel about it. So we got Hazel getting all emotional, like Ayana's fixing her life, or Oprah's in her living room with books from her book club. And while all this is happening, you got Berg smiling. It's like he's really establishing himself as the villain of Love and Hip Hop. It's like he almost enjoys hurting her feelings. And honestly, if you're 34 years old, you're too old to be caught up in no bullshit with no nigga that's shorter than you, and especially not Young Berg. I'm sorry. Then and it's like Young Berg wins again. So we end our conversation by Hazel asking Young Berg to accompany her to the ASCAP Awards. And this nigga act like she asked him if she could borrow his eyes for a few days. Cause this nigga I'm never bringing no females to the ASCAP Awards, and that shit was just mean. I'm like, damn, you been knowing her for 10 years and you can't come with her to an award ceremony? The ASCAP Awards not even that exclusive, it's not even that serious. So, he says all that to only be caught with another female at the ASCAP Awards, and it ends with Hazel throwing a drink in his face, and he's smiling like she made the biggest joke ever, and I'm like, yo, my nigga, you are really coming off as probably one of the greatest douchebags of all time. It's all good though. So overall, I got Young Berg winning this 2-1. I gave Hazel a point for throwing a drink in his face, you know, and having a little bit of pride about herself, or just a little bit, you know. But overall, Young Berg wins again, so that's a 2-1, and that's my conclusion of Hazel versus Young Berg Part 2. Watch out for Part 3 in my next video, Hazel versus Young Berg and Tia Marie. Okay, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.